Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Beyond the Gates, episodes 64, 65, and 66. So we start Monday with Anita. No, we start Monday with Sharon and Anita. So Sharon is talking to Anita. She giving her all this attitude, and she's just like being a little itch, and it's just like, girl, you came in my house. Why are you acting like this? Ugh. So she's giving her the blues, and she's basically telling Anita, I'm going to tell the world about who you really are and all this other stuff. And then she leaves. So Vernon comes back. He sees Anita sitting by herself, and she basically tells him, yeah, this wasn't a good idea. Shouldn't have called these ladies. And it's not going well the way, or it's not going how, not even how she expected it to go. She knew that it wasn't going to be really good from jump, but it's going on a whole nother level that she didn't think it would go. So then we see Mona and Kat. So again, the last we ended with them is they were talking about the jacket, and Leslie rolls up on them while they're in Orphe jeans. So we run that back. So again, she rolls up on them and she's like, what are y'all talking about? Kat shows her the jacket, and Leslie's just like, that could be anybody. So, okay. And she was just like, basically, she just tells them, y'all tripping, and she goes to leave, and Nicole comes in. So they're like, they do a little stare down, and then Mona and Kat rally around Nicole, and just like, let it be known, like, it's numbers, we got the numbers, so try it if you want to. So Kat's getting ready to go to the police, and Leslie follows her. So they get to the police station, and Kat just basically lays out all the evidence in front of um, Leslie, and it's just like, Kat, mama, this is a little too much. Just a little too much. It's just, calm it down, calm it down. You're doing too much because you're telling her everything, and it's just like, that's why you not the cop and Jacob is. Like, calm down. So after she done laid out all the evidence to her, Leslie lays out her evidence of why she should get a restraining order. So she basically tells Jacob that she wants to get a restraining order against Kat. And so she leaves after she's told her what she's going to do. So she leaves, and then Kat basically again gives him all the details, and as she's telling him this, he's just like, girl, you touched everything. So now it's just like, I could arrest you because your prints are on all this stuff also. So it could be like you did it. You tried on the jacket. You touched all the receipts. Like, come on, Kat. And again, it's understandable why she touched the receipts, because she put her hands in her pocket. So yeah, that's understandable. But at the same time, it's just like, girl, you doing too much. So she's feeling, she feeling some type of way or whatever. Um, and she leaves, and Jacob had earlier was talking to another cop about analyzing the video. So the cop comes back, and he gives him good news. He gives him news like, basically like, this could be Leslie. So Jacob is excited about this. So we see Chelsea and Martin. They run into each other, and Chelsea wants to talk to Martin about Samantha, and how instead of her becoming a model right now, she could be their social media influencer or whatever. And Martin's just like, I'll think about it. And Chelsea's just like, well, we could talk now. Like, I'm here, I'm free, we can talk. And he's just like, well, I'm getting ready to meet my dad. So she was just like, oh, okay, well, good luck with that. So she leaves, and she goes to Orphe Jeans, and she runs into Vernon, because again, Vernon had left Anita and Sharon to discuss. So they're at Orphe Jeans, and they're discussing love, and she's basically telling him about how old girl had left. I can't think of that girl's name for the life of me, but she basically, Allison, there we go. Allison, she left her, and she's heartbroken, and how she doesn't believe in love and all of this because of what happened to her parents, what's happened to Ted and Nicole. And Vernon is just like, well, you have good examples. You have your sister Naomi and Jacob. You have us. You have Martin and Smitty. Like, you still have other good relationships that you can look at or whatever. And it's just like, Yeah, all them other relationships except for him and Anita, it looked like they may break up, but we shall see at the soap. So we see Ted and Martin. They're meeting at the club, and Martin is getting served by that guy that's been following him. And as soon as Ted walks up, he takes off, and he's just like Ted's like, I mean, where are you going? So we don't know why this man took off, but again, he's already been following Martin, and Martin ain't even paying attention because it's just like he ain't paying attention to his surroundings. Because I would have been looking like, okay, I've seen this guy at Orphe Jeans. Now I've seen him twice at the club. Who are you? And where are you coming from? But Martin ain't paying attention. He's just focused on talking to his dad. So him and Ted, they make up. So he basically tells him like, I'm sorry for how I reacted. I'm still mad about how you treated mom, but I can't be too mad because about you keeping a secret, because he's keeping his own secret. So he tries to see where they're at, and Ted is just like, we're talking, but we're not talking enough, and I want to warn her about Leslie. So he tells I think like he tells Martin what their like theories about Leslie being the one to hurt Laura. So he's just like, I really want to warn her about it, but she won't talk to me or whatever. So they have their little kumbaya or whatever, and they go their separate ways. Ted goes to see Eva, and he checks on her, just letting her know that he never believed what they were saying. He never believed that she was the one who ran Laura off the road, or the one who poisoned her or whatever. He's just basically letting her know, I got your back, I'm on your side, and be careful with your mom. And Eva's just like, yeah, we'll each watch each other's back or whatever. So he leaves, and we see what's her name? Leslie show up at Eva's, like, what did you do with my gloves? And Eva's basically saying like, I have it in a safe place, so now you have to be on my good side. So play nice, basically. So we see Nicole and Mona after Kat had left. Nicole and Mona at Orphe Jeans. Nicole is talking to Mona, and she's just like, basically saying she can't believe that Ted would cheat on her with someone like Leslie, because Leslie crazy basically. And Mona gives her a pep talk, and is just like, don't beat yourself up. At the end of the day, he still chose you. Even though he was wrong for what he did, he still chose you. So just don't beat yourself up about it. She goes back home, and Martin comes over to check on her, and he's just like, trying to get the feel of how she is with her and Ted. And she's basically saying like, I I want to get my husband back, basically, but I couldn't look at myself in the mirror if I just accepted him for what he did so easily. Like, I can't just go back to the way it was. And that's understandable. Like, 20-year relationship, or however long it's been, is like, it's been a lie. Like, I mean, not that it's been a lie, but like, you don't really know, because it's just like, you cheated on me, you had a baby, and these next years was just like we were living in bliss. But it's just like, and then she's like also thinking like, did he really want to be with her? Did he just come home just because she told him that she was pregnant? It's like a whole bunch of different things that she's thinking. And so Kat comes over, and Kat's basically telling them what Jacob told her, like, she's doing too much, and it's like they don't really know, like, all the evidence that she provided they may not be able to use it. So her and Martin start to bicker, and Nicole is just like, calm down, like, stop, like, being a mama. And she lets them know they're just like, they may just have to accept that Leslie could get away with this. So that was what happened on Monday's episode. So we get to Tuesday and we see Naomi. She comes to the Grands to bring Anita a gift, and it's like the call sheet of the Articulate's first show. So she's showing it to Anita, and Anita's like really sad. So Anita like walks out, and she comes back and she tells Naomi that the reunion tour isn't gonna happen, and it's okay, she's okay with it not happening at this point. And so Naomi is just like, well, I'll stay, I'll keep you company. I want to, I'll cancel my meeting with my dad just to, keep you company. And Anita is just like, no, it's okay. I understand, go do what you gotta do. We'll be good. And so so Naomi leaves and Anita takes out a letter. And she starts to read the letter. And as she's reading the letter, like you can hear the voiceover of the fourth articulate, because that's who the letter is from. So it's from the fourth articulate, and she's reading the letter, like she's the one who's narrating the letter. And as the letter is going, we then turn it to Anita reading the letter, but she's memorized it at this point. So she's just like, the letter is in her hand, but she's looking off into space, just like basically reading the letter. And so in the letter, um Barbara basically is saying, like, we started this as sisters, and then you let Dante get into your head. He basically wanted them to kick Barbara out of the group because she wasn't aesthetically pleasing for the group. So they kick her out, and she's mad because Anita let Dante Green um basically steal the group away from her, because Barbara's the one who put the group together. So she's like, she's just basically saying, like, you stole my dream from me, and because of that I couldn't handle it. So if you're reading this letter, that means I'm no longer here. And so basically we find out that Barbara unalived herself because of her being kicked out of the group. And so as Anita's reading that in the letter, she breaks down crying. We see Tomas with Bill, and he is, I want to say more on the Anita articulate situation, but we learn more information about it in the next episode. So I'll come back to what I want to say about that. So we see Tomas and Bill, and Tomas is giving Bill like the meeting notes from the meeting that he's spying on or whatever. And it was this meeting was really chill. There wasn't nothing really to like report back that was bad. So as Tomas is getting ready to leave, Bill tells him, like, I need you to spy on my family through Kat. And it's just like, here Tomas go again. He agrees to spy on Bill's family through Kat. So he agrees to do this for Bill, and Kat comes. So um he's gonna take Kat to lunch because of, this because of this whole spying thing, because she had come over to ask him a question about something, and then he offers to take her to lunch. So we then see Haley come over to Bill, and she's like, oh, like upset or whatever. And the reason why she's upset is because her dumb behind went to Danny's and brought her a pregnancy test to show her that, see, look, I'm pregnant. And Danny is just like, girl, you could have bought that offline. You could have dyed it to make it look like it was. If you really pregnant, take a test right now. And she's just like, why would I take a test in front of you? And she was just like, it's not like we ain't shared stuff before. And it's just like, ooh, Danny, there she go again with another stinger. Like, girl, you've been all up in her house doing whatever you was doing with her husband. So ain't you can go sit and pee on on a stick for her right there. Like, girl, stop it. And then she'll just like, fine, if you don't want to pee on a stick, let's go to the hospital and get a blood test then. And Haley is just like, no doctor would break HIPAA laws and send you the information. And she was Haley, I mean, Danny was just like, okay, well, so you're not gonna prove that you're pregnant because you bringing this test to me doesn't prove anything, because again, you could have gotten it any kind of way, so you can leave my house. And she's gonna say, well, if we have a boy, we're gonna name him Bill Jr. And then walks out. And it was just like, girl, you thought you ate with that? Okay, so you gonna have his son. Who cares? It ain't like he gonna stay with you. So what's it called, Andre hits up Danny to ask her to come over because he was talking to Ashley, and Ashley was telling him how um, he thought that Ashley told him that Derek moved out, so he thought that they broke up, and he offered to be her shoulder to cry on again. But Derek shows up and was just like, yeah, we moved out. I moved out, but we're still together. And Andre was just like, okay, well, that's good. Like, I've been all over the world and yeah. So I've seen different relationships and how different people handle it. Y'all got to figure out how y'all gonna handle y'all relationship and y'all be good. And he leaves, and then he hits up Danny. So he goes to see Danny, and they basically talk. He tells her that he has feelings for her, but she's not ready. And she clocks his tea and was just like, no, you have feelings for me, but there's another girl and she's unavailable. So that's why you running back to me. And that is technically what happened. And he tells her, like, you're unavailable too because you still like caught up on Bill, because she's basically telling him, she told him how Haley's pregnant, and she's like saying how Bill was such a nice person and he was so like good while she was pregnant. He would whisper to her belly and do all this other stuff. And then Andre is just like, so you're mad at the fact that you won't be the only one who got to see Bill that way, because if Haley's pregnant, he's gonna do the same things. And so they talk, they argue, and then they end up having makeup sex. So we see, let's see what else happens. Okay, so back to um Haley and Bill. So yes. So she comes to the office, and she's basically talking to Bill like, I can't believe Danny and she this and that and da 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 da. And he was just like, why did you even go over there? I told you to like leave it alone. And it's just like, well, both of y'all said that y'all was gonna leave her alone, but yet here we are, because both of y'all still continue to approach her or go to her other family members. Y'all keep saying y'all gonna leave the Duprees alone, but you over there going to the Grand's house so that you could drop something off when you could have had it sent by courier. You're calling Smitty, you're looking for Martin, you're approaching Danny, and then you got Haley, she's going to Danny. She's talking down to the daughters. Like, y'all both said y'all trying to stop being around the Duprees, but yet again, y'all won't leave the neighborhood. And it's just like, leave the neighborhood, but whatever. So Naomi comes because she's having this meeting with Bill, and she's just like, oh, Haley's here, I'll be back, because whatever we have to meet about ain't got nothing to do with her. And he's just like, well, yes, it does. And she was just like, there's nothing that you two can say that will make me and your relationship okay, Dad. And so he tells her that she's pregnant, and she's just like, okay, like, you thought I was gonna be happy about that? And Haley was just like, but you all like, Bill told me that y'all always wanted a sibling. And she was just like, yeah, when we were 5 and 6. Like, I'm almost 30, like, or I'm in my 30s. Like, this child is gonna be a whole generation away from me. I'm not gonna have what, like, Bill and Haley, like, I don't get them, because it's just like, him you really thought her being pregnant was going to bring your daughters closer to you, after you just went off on the one daughter the other day, and you think So they're like arguing, and Haley's just like, I mean, not Haley, Naomi's just like, oh, so you think I'm gonna throw you a baby shower, baby moon? Like, I don't understand what this was. And so Bill starts to like slurring his words. So they call the hospital. Like they rush to him after, because he starts slurring his words, and he's just like, I'm okay, I'm okay. And it's just like, no, you're not, Bill. So we see uh Kat. She's at Orphe Jeans and she's on the phone, and when she gets off the phone, Leslie approaches her and sits down, and she's just basically telling her that she's going to get a restraining order on her against her. And it's like, girl, you said you're going to get a restraining order against Kat, but you're the one who keeps approaching her. She's not coming to you. Like, make it make sense. And then she says that she's going to sue her for defamation. And Kat's just like, okay, well, do what you do. And that's where she goes to meet with Tomas to like get his like advice on like, can she, can she sue me for defamation or get this restraining order? And he's basically telling her like, nah, she can't really sue you for defamation because you really haven't defamed her character. The only thing that you're talking about or saying is stuff that you're taking to the police. So it's not like you're like running around town like talking bad about her. And then he also he was just like, so why didn't you go to Naomi? Like, how is Naomi doing and all this other stuff? And it's just like he's trying to get information on Naomi and Chelsea because he's trying to spy, but it's just like you making it obvious. And so at the end of their conversation, she tells him, I don't want Bill to know anything that we talk about. And it's just like, that's a sign, because you Kat has already told you she does not want Bill to know what y'all talk about, but you're going to run back to Bill because you are spying on your family through her. So this is yet another red flag against Tomas. It's just like, I need Kat to run far away from him, but she ain't going to run far away from him. So we see Derek and Ashley, they're at Orphe Jeans because they've left the hospital and they're at Orphe Jeans getting a little dinner or whatever. And Leslie shows up and she's trying to get information on Laura. And it's just like, Leslie, girl, what is this? Like, it's like you're doing things that are making you look guilty at this point. And I wish these people would go and talk to the cops, because it's like you're asking all these questions to Ashley about what's going on with Laura, where are the cameras in the hospital, who has the footage of the person who went into Laura's room. It's just like, and even Ashley says that she's just like, it sounds like you feeling guilty about something. And it's just like, come on, Leslie, you should be smarter than this. And you too, Ashley. Like, I would have called Jacob right away since you're good friends with him. I would have called him and been like, yeah, she started asking me all these questions about like Laura and footage and all this other stuff. Like, but of course she doesn't do that. Derek kicks her out, kicks like Leslie away from them to leave them alone, and she's just like, she's I don't even know what this is, but it's just like Leslie is doing too much at this point too. Like, you on that same train with Kat, like you trying to cover your tracks so bad and it's making you look bad, but no one is clocking it because no one is talking to anybody about it. And it's just like, ugh. So that's where we are with Tuesday's episode. So we get to Wednesday's episode, and we see Andre and Danny. They're, they up in a room, they done had their little fun, and they're talking, and Andre's like trying to like push for more, and Danny is just like, now we had this conversation. So as they're talking, she gets a phone call from Naomi, and Naomi tells her that Bill's been rushed to the hospital. So we see Naomi, Bill, and Naomi, Bill, and Haley. They're at the hospital, and Shanice and Doug are there. So Shanice gets his vitals, and she's like trying to help him, and then Doug is talking to him too, getting all his information. Naomi goes to Shanice when she's at the counter, and she's just like, did my dad have a stroke? What's going on?" And she's just like, "We're gonna find out what happened." So they put him in a room, and they're in the room talking, and Doug is in there talking to him, like trying to get the information. He's just like, "We're gonna get a neurologist because you may have had a mini stroke. We don't know, but we need to see somebody about it." So as he's leaving, Danny comes in, and she thanks Doug for watching over him, and she goes straight to Bill, like at the head. And they start talking, and they're like, reminiscing about him being in a hospital and how he hates the hospitals and all this other stuff. So Danny is right here, right next to him, and then Naomi is right next to him on the other side. And again, they're reminiscing, and Haley is standing next to Naomi, like off to the side, like pushed in the back, just watching the family interact or whatever, and being all jealous and whatnot. And Danny is able to calm Bill down, because Bill was just like, "I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here." But Danny comes in, and she's able to bring him down, help him to calm down, so he's not so like about being in a hospital. And Haley is just watching, like seething, and it's just like, girl, they've it's it's levels to it at this point. Like, you're brand new, you're 6 months, not even, maybe I don't even know how long, it ain't been that long, but you ain't been in the game that long for you to be able to calm him down like that. Like, Danny knows his buttons, Danny knows what it is with him. So Bill decides to check out, and Doug tells him, like, if you're gonna check out, you have to take Advil, you have to be watched, and you have to take things easy and all this other stuff. So Danny just basically tells him, "I'm glad you're okay. If I wanted you out this world, I would have took you out myself, but I'm glad you're still here. We need you in this family," whatever. So her and Naomi leave, and Naomi is just like, thanks her for being a great mom, and they hug, and then they leave. And then Danny and Haley are talking, and Haley is just like, "I was kind of jealous because Danny is the Bill whisperer. She was able to calm you down." And he reassures her that it doesn't mean anything and all this other stuff. So they leave. We see Kat showing up at the police station to see what's new. Have they gotten any information? And he tells her, like, "Girl, let me do my job. Stay in your place. Let me do my job. Like, chill." But of course, she don't listen. So we see. Let's see what happens next. We see Chelsea. She's at Uptowns, and she's at the bar, and she sees this lady looking at her. So they're like, flirting with each other with their eyes. And she gets a call from Naomi, but she rejects it because, again, Naomi was calling her to let her know that Bill was in the hospital. So she goes up to the girl, and she starts to talk to her. So she asks the girl her name. She tells her name is Madison, and they start talking. But the girl really isn't talking. She's asking Chelsea the questions, and Chelsea's doing most of the talking. And Madison is like real mum. She's just like not really talking. No, she's not talking at all. But she's being very secretive. She doesn't let Chelsea know what she does. She barely wanted to give her name, and she was just like, I don't know. It was just like she was like, I don't know. She looked as shifty. So Naomi texts Chelsea. So when Chelsea picks up her phone to look at it, Madison just runs out. And so she finds out that Bill was in the hospital, but he's okay, and now he's going home. So she's just sitting there like, like, I wonder who this lady is. And she's very pretty. So I could see why she was just like, intrigued by her. So we're at the hospital again and we see Shanice. Leslie done went to the hospital and Shanice sees her and she was just like, I know who you are. I know that you are Leslie. I know that you are Dana. You the one that broke up the Richardson's marriage. And I know you are the nurse that was looking up information on Laura and saying that you was Laura's patient. I know a lace front. I know a lace front when I see one. And she kicks her out and like she tries to kick her out the hospital, and Leslie was just like, no, we need to stick together. The Richardsons are gonna pit us against each other. And she's just like, I would never be in your place. Like, oh no ma'am. And she's just like, I just wanted to see the footage. And she's just like, you can go to the police the security desk and they can walk you out and they can show you they can walk you out, X, Y, and Z. And she's just like, but uh or you can go straight to the police station to get the footage that Andre provided them. And it was just like, dang, Shanice, why you had to say that to her? So Leslie's just like, oh, so Andre Richardson is the one who has the footage. Okay, thanks. So she leaves and she goes to Orphe Jean's and she sees Andre because Andre is there eating. And he's just like, when he sees her, he's just like, oh Lord. So he turns his back towards her and she still sits down and she over there talking, like trying to get him to show her the footage. And he was just like, don't nobody try to show you no evidence. We ain't at trial yet. Because it's the truth. Like, you're not allowed to see any of the evidence that they have against you until trial. So since we not in trial, ain't nobody got to show you nothing. But he still ends up showing her the footage. And it's just like, ah. So he shows her the footage and she starts laughing and she was just like, that's not me. Look, I look better than that. And then he's just like, okay, so you say. And then he goes, pow, and he takes a picture of her. And he was just like, yeah, I have some software that can put these together and we can figure out if it really is you or not. And I was just like, y'all are just like, go talk to Jacob. Like, Andre, go and tell Jacob. She approached you to see the footage. Shanice, go and tell Jacob. You remember her from the night that what happened to Laura and her saying that she was a new nurse on Laura's team and she was trying to get the information. Like, go and tell Jacob. Like, you guys know that an investigation is going on and all of this stuff is happening and no one is talking to Jacob. And it's just like, oh my God, what is wrong with y'all? Oh. So we see Anita and Vernon. So Vernon finds Anita and he finds her in their living room and she's all sad. And he's just like, he's checking on her to see what's going on. So she finally tells him like what happened, like the barber of it all and everything. And she's just like, she was like, it's my fault. Like, she's been carrying that guilt with her all this time. And Vernon is just like, it's not your fault. Like, you can't keep that. That is not yours to carry. Like, yes, what happened, it was a raw deal, but that's not your fault if she unalived herself. Like, the fact that she blamed that on you, it sucks. And the fact that you've had to carry that for all this time, like, really sucks. And it's like, I'm here to let you know that is not yours to carry. Like, I am here for you. Like, no, don't carry that on your own. Like, that is not something that you need to carry. And it's just like, that's the truth. It's like, yes, what happened with the whole group, like that whole situation, it sucked. But it's like, at the same time, you weren't the only one who made that decision. Like, the other two ladies, they stayed with you. They rode with you. Like, if it was a thing where they could have banned against you and made it like, no, we're not going to let this girl go. But y'all all decided like, yes, we're going to let her go. Like, this is what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted that level of fame, like, and y'all were young. It's like y'all didn't know no better. Dante Green, the producer guy, he's the one who pitted y'all against each other. Like, it's like I understand it. At the same time, it's just like, dang, like, I really don't, like, she shouldn't have to take all that blame. Like, and the fact that Barbara even sent her that letter and put that on her, that's just like, she was wrong for that too. It's just like, if you gonna do that, like, if you're gonna unalive yourself, don't put that on nobody. You made that decision. No matter what anybody else did to you, that it reminds me of that show 7 Reasons or 13 Reasons Why. It's just like, yeah, all these people did all these things to you, but at the end of the day, you still made the decision to do what you did. Like, don't put that blame on somebody else. Like, go get help. Like, I don't know, because it's like, I've never been in that position to say or see how that would happen, but it's just like, I just don't feel like she should take all that blame. And it's like, this is a this like they said, this is something that you've never seen in daytime before. And it's like, it's really making, it's like, oh my goodness, like, it's like, I want to be sensitive, because I don't want to, like, I don't even know, but it's just like, I just feel like she shouldn't take all that blame on herself. Like, I don't think it's her fault that Barbara decided to do what she did. It's not Anita's fault. I don't even think it's Tracy and Sharon's fault. Like, at the end of the day, Barbara, you still decided to do what you did. You could have easily tried to make it on your own as well. Like, you could have done other stuff. Like, for you to put that blame on her, I just didn't think that was right. And then the fact that you only put the blame on her and you didn't put the blame on the other ladies, because they also made that decision as well. Again, I don't think that's right. But we shall see. So she tells Vernon that she's not going to go ahead with this reunion, and he calls Tracy to let her know, because we see Tracy and Sharon at Orphe Jeans, and Sharon is basically saying, yeah, I'll go along with the reunion, and as soon as we do it, I'm gonna leave and go solo on my own. I'm gonna use Anita to get my foot back in the game, and then branch off on my own. And it's just like, Sharon, you, for all this stuff and all this talk about Anita and how she's trifling and she's this and she's that, you ain't no better, because you about to do the exact same thing that she did. And it's just like, you ain't gonna make it, because one, you're of age. They not really this I don't even know, but it's just like, girl, stop. Like, I guess. And Tracy is just like, if that's what you're trying to do, you need to let her know. Like, I'm not about to start this on lies. Like, if we gonna do this, you gonna let her know what your plan is. Like, you are not about to do that. And Barbara, I mean, not Barbara, Tracy is just like, we owe this. Like, if you're going to do this, we owe this to Barbara. We're not going to start on lies. And it's just like, Sharon, you talking about, oh, it's three articulates and this and that. And it's just like, it's Tracy and Anita have been the only ones that have really mentioned Barbara, and you have not. Like, and it's just like, I low-key feel like you was quick to be like, yeah, we can drop her. We can drop her. So it's just like, again, Anita getting all the blame. I feel like if we gonna blame some people, we need to blame them all. We can't just blame one person. So Tracy gets that phone call from Vernon saying that, Anita ain't trying to do this, but if you feel like y'all should do this, then I'm gonna need you to come and talk to her, basically, is what he says. So that's how we end Wednesday's episode. So these 3 episodes, they were pretty good. We did get again, we got the information on what the secret was. So I'll be back with episodes 67 and 68. If you do like what you see, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.